Hey everybody, it's Jody from Ramp-O-Matic again, and today we have another rivet press. This is the Arbor press style from Harbor Freight that you can buy your own squeezer dies, do some modifications, kind of DIY it, and get yourself a usable rivet press for a little less money than some of the purpose-built rivet presses. There are some positives and some negatives. But let's throw it on the bench over here and take a look at some of the features. This is the Harbor Freight 1-ton Arbor press. The model number on this one is 03552. Could have changed by now because I've had this one for a number of years. But this is a pretty stout little press. Now this press is one that Pin Restore used to sell a kit to retrofit these presses. And I think he used to actually sell some of the presses as well. You'd sell a kit to retrofit this into a universal riveting machine. And it works pretty well. It does have some limitations, but it's gonna work for like 90% of what you're trying to do. And in this case, I think he had custom squeezers made, but you can use the ones that we actually talked about earlier on the Hansen HR141 press. So I'm just going to pull mine off because that's where these started at, is over on this press. So what you're going to have to do is, this is going to be a little bit more DIY than some of the other options out there. You have to disassemble this, and to do that, you got a couple 12 millimeters in the front. Got to hang on to that so it doesn't fall off. Now, keep track of this plate. That plate puts the tension on the front of the ram. You got to pull this off, and on the bottom, you're going to have to find the center and use a drill press. Let's see if that focuses in there. You got to find center there and use a drill press to drill a 3/16 inch hole nice and straight. And then that will receive your squeezer then. And the squeezer's got this nice little detent on there. See that? And if you drill a nice true 3/16 inch hole, it's going to go in there and it's going to stay in there. And it's going to be nice and secure like that. So once you're done with that, you can put it all back together. Again, don't forget that metal plate, because that metal plate is what gives you your tension. Snug that up. Now these screws here will give you side tension, and that keeps the ram nice and snug, takes the play out of it. And same with the front. You can adjust all these screws, and by giving them just a little bit of tension, it keeps this from falling down. It gives you this will stay wherever you want. If it's too loose, it's just going to flop down on you, and it's kind of annoying. So this feels pretty good here, so we're going to snug these up. Oh, need a different size wrench there. That'll have to do for now. Must be a 13. So once you have that in there, what you want to do is pull the ram straight down. And you can see where I did it on this one, but we could actually go over here. Line this up, draw a line around this with like a magic marker, and that'll give you the spot where you need to drill the corresponding 3/16 hole on the bottom. And again, you'll have to take this out, preferably go to a drill press. You have to block this up because of this pin. Put a little something under there to support it, and drill out another 3/16 hole for your bottom squeezer, and that'll stay in there just like that. Now I think on the Pin Restore setup, he had another hole you drilled to drop in a locator pin to keep this lined up. I haven't really found that necessary. You could if you want, but it's not real fun to try and, you can drill this out on the drill press, but then you got to spot this and somehow drill on the side here. And it's nice and straight so that pin drops down in. And I never really bothered with it. It doesn't seem like a big deal. This doesn't seem to really move that much. So now there's a couple downsides to this. It's going to work for the majority of what you're trying to do, but there are some specific instances where even the longest length of these you can get, you're going to hit on your ramp. And on the top, you can kind of get around that. If you have access to a machine shop, a friend with a machine shop, if you're a machinist, this is just my machinist mind thinking, you could take this out, chuck this up in a 4-jaw chuck, and spin this down to give you a little more clearance. Because what's going to happen is you're going to run into where, say you're riveting like this, where this hits, and you're not going to be able to get down all the way. Now you can, like in this case, flex this out of the way, but you, like at a bare minimum, round these off because you're going to wind up scratching the edges of your ramp, and you don't want to do that. So if you could actually, get this spun down to say, even 5/8 diameter, that would give you a lot more clearance on that side. And keep in mind, you can switch these. So you can actually pop, do it upside down, so you can get around, doing it this way versus this way. So keep that in mind too. That is, and you can do that on the other press as well. But again, for the majority of what you're doing, you're going to be pretty good shape here. Another thing you could do to gain some clearance here, some clearance, is this measures 3/8 of an inch diameter here. You could actually have somebody, and again, or if you have access to a machine shop, take a piece of 3-inch round stock, 3/8 inch round stock, put a 3/16 hole in one side, and maybe spin the other side down to like 1/4 inch, and then drill this hole out to 1/4 inch and give you a nice like 1-inch extension here. That would really help you out a lot with this, to give you a little more clearance. The other thing you got to watch too is the depth. This only has about a 4-inch depth to the throat. And I can tell you there's a couple ramps where I have switch brackets that go on the inside of a circle, and I need every bit of this 6 inches to get to them. So there are going to be some cases where this isn't going to work, and that hand rivet tool is going to bail you out. But if for most things like flaps, this press will work. You just have to make some modifications. If you're willing to put the time and effort into it, it will work for you. But I would hesitate to put a whole lot of time and money into one of these when I can just buy one of these. But again, everybody's budget's different. Everybody's threshold for projects is different. And this is just another option for people out there that want to get into riveting. And this tool will do a nice job for you. So I pulled out a couple examples of places you might get tripped up when it comes to using the Arbor freight press versus the Hansen rivet press. Right here, I got this hook Rufio ramp. On this, you're going to have a hard time with these metal guide plates, little protectors here, on the sidewall because the distance from here to this foot is pretty big. And you could cut that down, again, if you have a machine shop. But you could possibly get this in here like that, but then again, this is going to hit. Whereas over here on the Hansen press, hopefully you can see this, you can come right in here, depending on which way you put your squeezer die, you can get that one. You can get that one. You can come in here and get that one. And on this side, if you flex this just a little bit, you can get that one. So that's another, the offset here really helps, where this one, it could be a hindrance on certain ramps. Here we got this Riverboat Gambler ramp, not Riverboat Gambler, this is Maverick. If you put the extension on here, you could get these guys. They're a little tall, but over here, no problem. Nope. Both sides, no problem. And lastly, another one here. This is High Roller. What is this? High Roller Casino. This big guy. Right down in there. You're not going to get that with the Arbor press. You know, the hand rivet tool, no problem. To be honest, I don't. You might get it on the Hansen press. It'd be close. Let's try it this way. Oh yeah, you probably get it on there. It'd be close, but this is probably one I would use the hand rivet tool on. It's a great tool, and it still has many uses that even these high dollar presses just can't do it. So, some food for thought. It's great to have options. Let's head on over here to my Ramp Flap Superstore and grab a flap for this this hook ramp. It's not in that one. I think it's this one. So we're going to go ahead and put this flap on this hook skill shot ramp that I'm working on. I went ahead and put a clamp on the back just to make it a little more secure. This press does weigh a fair amount, but the force required on the handle is actually quite a bit more than the Hansen. The Hansen rivet press has this nice cam, it really multiplies the force well, where this is more like a 1-to-1 with a pinion and rack. And you'll see right here, I kind of am running into that where the mandrel is not quite tall enough, so I had to flex the sides out a bit. And like I said, it's going to take a little bit more, but you have a lot of control over it, which is nice. And you can see that focus is there, nice. Real nice rivet job. So that's going to wrap it up for this one. I'm not advocating any one specific riveting tool more than any other ones. They all have their uses. Some are better for certain jobs, some are better for other jobs. But there's really only one tool that I've found that actually physically can do every job I've thrown at it, and that's this one. It's not necessarily the most easy to use compared to the big presses, but sometimes it's your only option. So, you know, it's still a great thing to have in your toolbox. And, you know, you still have to have one hand on the tool, one hand on the hammer, and then hopefully all your fixturing will hold the rivet and your whatever you're riveting in place while you're doing all that. So, you know, hopefully I gave you guys more options to think about, and really I just want to get people over the hump on trying riveting on their own, and it really will make your projects much more professional looking, and there's a sense of accomplishment of doing the job right, you know. So if you find this informative, leave me some comments. If there's anything else you want to see, leave me a comment, and then I'll look into it. And you know, I look forward to your feedback and more subjects you want to hear about ramps, riveting, you know, something I can help you with. So until next time. You know, I made it through 5 videos without any riveting puns.